want you guys to go ahead and look at Brian down here at the end of the table. We were unaware, I don't know, it wasn't our fault, that Brian was going to show up for this panel, so he is actually... Brian, I'm sorry.
Brian.
I knew that. I keep calling you Brian. What'd you write? Oh, just Beast Boy.
Yeah.
All right, Beast Boy down at the end here is joining us, and I think that's fantastic. Titans. What I want to ask you guys first before we get people lined up for questions was the auditioning process. Did you guys, of course, I'm sure you were associated with the DC Comics of Titans, which was Teen Titans back in the 60s, but reading up on the characters that you were supposed to be portraying, how in fact did you walk into that audition process to tell them that you're the right guy for the part?
I actually had no idea I was auditioning for this part. I thought I was going to be some, guest star, one episode, so it was a breakdown of a character, but it was dummy size for me. And I think it might have been the same for all of us, but I had zero idea the day of the audition. I walked in, a couple days later, I got a call back. A couple days later, I was put on hold, and then my agent called me and was like, hey, you're going to be playing Jason Todd. Right. So during the audition process, I had zero idea that I was playing Jason Todd. So when I found out, I went out and bought every comic book I could find on Jason Todd and did my homework and brought the character to life.
Right.
I likewise had dummy sides. At the time, they just sent me a character description of a very confident, smart, badass female. That was basically it. And fun fact, it was actually a scene with Dawn's lines as my audition, but in the character traits of Donna Troy, I guess they just really wanted to challenge people and put that up there. So it was the scene that Hank and Dawn are on the roof and he gives her doves, and all of those lines I basically said as Donna. It was so confusing. I had no idea who this person was, and when they called and they said they wanted to do it, I went, who? I still don't know who this is. And then they mentioned Wonder Girl,
yeah.
And then I went to ask, is it Cassie Sands Parker, is it Donna Troy? They said Donna Troy, and that's when I started to do research and could not believe that this woman had not had a live action version before, and I went, yeah, okay.
Awesome. How about you, Ryan?
Credit to the casting directors, because I think the strong suit of our show is that every character really is, well, every actor really is the character, and we didn't have a normal auditioning process where the window starts and this was the deadline to get people cast by to then get the show up and running. They spent quite a while looking for each member. I think the whole process in total was about a year and a half. They had gone through numerous Robins. They kind of had their heart set on Brenton. That ended up happening, and then Tegan came into the fold. I believe she read with Brenton, and then Anna was, I believe, the second or the third cast, and then we had passed that deadline of when all the Titans are supposed to be cast. And I was just enjoying vacation in Japan, and they sent me an email asking me to audition via Zoom, via Skype, and I kind of threw together what I could. I didn't have a printer, couldn't print out the sides, so I just wrote down on hotel stationery all my sides. So I had a stack of 20 little pieces of, no paper that I'm flipping through during the audition, and I was really familiar with Teen Titans, so I just gave it as many Garisms and Beast Boysms as I could, and made him laugh a few times, and I was like, oh, maybe that went all right. And then I was in Los Angeles 2 weeks later, auditioned for it, and it's funny, because the audition process is usually, you go in, you see 1 or 2 people, then you see 4, and then you see 8, and then there you go. You've done it, you've booked it, time to go shoot the projects. For me, it was one Skype call with one person, and then showing up in LA, and then a room of 12 people all sitting there all right, do it. Okay.
So you did more than normal process. It was like audition, they want you to do it. And I was like, that's why it was so nerve-wracking, yeah.
Because it wasn't the normal. Yeah.
It's a weird experience. You're just used to, I guess, and the actors are used to going through this grueling process. So I think what you're saying is
Yeah.
they knew what they wanted.
Right. They did the homework ahead of time.
They did, yeah.
They saw how you guys look. They saw your body of work, and they're like, yeah, I think these are the people.
Yeah.
And they were right.
Incredible. Hey guys, if any of their speech, even my speech, starts to fluctuate a little bit during this panel, it's because we're freaking freezing to death right now. So
Yes.
if none of you
Trying to
guys
hold it
are
in.
not cold, you're not human. You know, this is the coldest ballroom I've been in all weekend. Did they ask you guys, any of you, for you know, any athletic ability that you may possess? If you were a gymnast, if you ran track, if you
No.
pole vaulted?
Did they just like assume that we could like throw kicks and I mean, no.
They ran us through a stunt boot camp.
Season 2 though.
Yeah.
Season 2, true.
And
yeah.
also, I remember being like, hey, think I need someone to teach me a lasso. Hey, I'm not
The week
Dr.
before.
Scrubs with like a tray. Like, you know, it's not even just for physique purposes. I think a lot of people who watch these comic book shows and movies think I mean, yes, there's a physique we are attempting to recreate. These comic book characters are written in a very idealistic way, but we are trying to emulate, yes, the physical look of it, but also to have the stamina to do these stunts in these suits and costumes at ungodly hours. So a lot of that, I just remember thinking like, all of our cast really works hard and they want to do their job well. And I just also remember thinking, they got pretty lucky on that end. Like, we all wanted to show up and do training and do our own stunts. And, you know, not everyone necessarily wants to do that, but we all, you know.
We're going to get to the questions shortly, but I guess my last question, based on, to kind of segue into what you said, especially for you, Ron, did they literally say, okay, we want you to freeze in this position because you're going to become a tiger?
Like freezing cold?
Yeah, that's the easy.
Changing
You can't do that without.
cold, yeah. No, the physicality I found with each director, and it was a little challenging because each one wanted something a little bit different. And I was like, we've established certain things that I think we have to continue to honor for the transformation process. And, you know, but obviously it's all done in post. I'm not actually doing that. I wish I could. But the location in which I do those transformations often informs so much the transformation. If we're on a soundstage and I have the time to do multiple takes, I can, you know, really find some interesting physicality and like really imagine my arm turning into like a tiger paw or something. But if we're out in -20 and there's a foot of snow, I'm just kind of like, okay, they're ready? Okay, this is what you get. And
This is why we got the room as cold as it is, because this is your audition time.
Yes, no, this is familiar waters.
All right, before we proceed with the questions right now, I have to be fair and honest with everyone right now. We want a possible season 4 to be as incredible for you as I'm sure it will, but hands off on season 4 discussions if you can. I know it's going to be kind of hard for you not to ask, but I'm almost pretty sure they probably don't even know themselves of what's going on. So let's just stick to the first 3 seasons. What you remember, there's some fantastic stuff that happened during those 3 seasons, so just kind of focus on that. How about our first question back there?
Yes, I've got a question for Kern.
Yes.
Once you were told who you were cast as,
Yes.
how long did you think your character was going to survive?
That's a good one.
That's
That's
a
a good
great
one.
question.
You did do your research,
I
right?
did do my research.
Yeah, okay.
Honestly, I had no idea how long he was going to survive. I didn't even know if we were going to do that character arc at all. So once I got the script for season 3, you know, it felt that it was happening soon, but I put my trust in the writers that, all right, this is going to work out properly. So, you know, overall that it even just happened, that, you know, Death in the Family arc, I was beyond excited. So, but yeah, I had no idea how quick that was going to be. That was a great question.
No, it wasn't. That was an unfair question, sir, because every day you watch an episode, you were thinking, when's this guy going to die?
Yeah, come on, when's he gonna
Why is
die?
this guy not dead yet? He's still walking around. That's craziness. Okay.
I love that.
All righty. We're on to one side. Go ahead. Next
Really
question.
quickly, if you wanted to ask something about season 4, I will give you the most vague, nondescript answer that won't answer the question, but might give you a sense of, oh, the question was answered.
Hi there.
Hi, I'm Miranda. I have two questions. First one is, are y'all still going to be at the Walk of Fame later?
Yes.
Okay, second question. I'm a big fan of the Vampire Diaries and originals, and I know Joseph Morgan is on season 4. It's not a plot question. It's not a plot question.
That's all right.
How is Joseph Morgan in real life as a person?
Joseph is fantastic. He is probably the most professional villain we've had thus far. He brings a level of class and what?
You're not a villain. Don't flatter yourself.
He's a professional villain. I was kidding.
He's like classifying himself as a villain right now, and I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
they talked about that. Yeah, okay.
He's known as a villain. Continue.
Ryan, I think they think you're getting paid. You know, he knew you were going to be here, so that's what they're saying.
I'm at a loss for words. That's fine.
Joseph is lovely, it sounds.
Joseph is absolutely lovely. He's the most professional individual that's joined our cast in a very, very long time. Yeah, I can't even begin to describe his work ethic. He tries to stay in character while also being his kind, authentic self. But dropping in and out of Joseph to his character is not always always easy, because that mindset is oh man, you'll see it.
I haven't gotten the chance to work with him, but I heard nothing but great things about Joseph. So, yeah, great question.
Likewise.
All right, thank you. Okay, next question. Yes, sir.
How you doing? I'm Zach. I have a two-part question. The first part is, if you had an extra body part, what would you want it to be? And the second question is, if you were in a fight as your character and you had a sandwich in your hand, what would be that sandwich?
Oh my God.
I guess I would want an extra arm to help me punch whoever I needed to with a club sandwich.
I'm gonna go probably extra arm and a turkey sandwich.
Okay.
Because I like turkey sandwiches.
Okay.
I'll take an extra head, so while I'm fighting, the extra one can add commentary to the fight, and
That would be funny.
and then I'll take just a vegan grilled cheese, a little cashew ricotta, you know.
Great question, Zach.
I can see that happening if they were like transported to another Earth 57 or something like that, and they all came out like that. Ryan would have the second head eating the sandwich while he's, you know. I can see that happening. That's so crazy. Okay, hi.
For Beast Boy, now that you've been on the show for 3 seasons, have you found out why they used Beast Boy for Teen Titans rather than Doom Patrol, where he was in the comics? And why Cyborg's on Doom Patrol taking up that spot instead of on Teen Titans?
Sure. Well, I mean, I think to take Beast Boy off the Titans roster at all wouldn't work. He's the hubris in a way, right? He has to be aware of how insane the situations the Titans get in, because it's not real life. So he's almost a commentary. I do hope at some point there is some interplay between Titans and Doom Patrol. If you look at the comics, Cyborg has such character-driven pieces on the Doom Patrol run, but when it comes to his stint on the Titans, he's more of a team player. He's more of a leader. He's the one that's worked with Justice League before, so he provides more of a big brother kind of leadership role, and that was already filled really by Nightwing and by Corey. So I think the creators felt that it would have been more servicing to the character of Cyborg to not have to fight for screen time and to really flesh him out over in Doom Patrol. And I'm hoping that this is all leading to some sort of interplay between the two shows, because the characters are established at this point. They're like.
Yeah, that would be great. Doom Patrol, Titans crossover. That would be, you know, and if they had to fight each other, that would be even more awesome. It's like, well, who do you owe your allegiance to?
Yeah, they almost fought one another in the Doom Patrol episode on season 1.
Yeah.
Just because neither one really knew who each other were.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we were to take it a step further and see that fight, I think it would be a good time. But also just heart-wrenching for Gar, seeing his two families having to fight, not being able to pick a side. Probably just turn into an octopus and like hold everybody at a distance and just stop.
Yeah. Raven say, I thought you loved me. Hi.
Hello. I have a two-part question. So my first question is, will you guys ever be like doing some of the stuff from the animated show, like with the character design of Beast Boy? There were multiple tweets, multiple animals to turn into,
Sure.
and so are you guys gonna be doing anything like similar to the cartoons or no?
Anything similar to the cartoons? Well, the showrunners have tried to walk this fine balance between honoring the comics and honoring the animated show. It definitely leans more in the direction of the comics and the animated show, and this grounded take on Titans leaves not as much room for kind of the animated slapstick humor that the animated show had, but season 3, you start to see the team dynamic kind of come together, and there's a lot more interplay with the team members. Or I'll say season 4, there is even more of a balance between the comics and the animated show.
Okay.
And one last question. What do you guys think about the disabled community? Because I'm disabled myself, and I just want to know what you guys think about like the disabled community as a whole.
Which community, sir?
The disabled community.
Oh, the disabled community. Oh, I see.
I mean,
How do they feel about the disabled community?
gratitude. Thank you for showing up.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope the Titans in one way or another represents a shade of your experience. The Doom Patrol cast members were literally just having this conversation. On Titans, it's really been about kind of the conflict and the family, but comic book stories dive into the hardships that every individual faces and that range of the human experience. So I hope you can see yourself in the show or any of the other DC properties that tries to tackle some of these harder subjects.
Yeah, I think that's what's beautiful about these superheroes is it lets people from every community either escape into that, live vicariously through it, be inspired by it, and hopefully if we've done our job, then it can do one of those things or all of those things for you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Let me ask you guys a question about your costumes. Okay. who has the better costume amongst the 3 that's already here now? If you had to,
I don't know if you can compare our costumes. They're so different.
well, yeah, yours is more traditional, I think.
The Red Hood costume is the coolest in terms of build, but I'm gonna say my favorite and most badass was your Underworld costume. The coat and the sword. Come on.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
that was a fun one.
Classical Wonder Girl, well, everybody classical costumes for most superheroes anyway is spandex and underwear and capes, whatever, right? Of course, no one would want that.
Listen, we are here because of the writers and illustrators of these comics, but they were imaginary. They're not like actually meant for people to slip into, so they are written with very idealistic things, and so moving in them is a challenge. The Wonder Girl suit that Donna wears in season 2, we first see it. But when we were building the costume, it went through many different iterations. I know Jeff Johns was very keen on making it be the original red suit, because when I even got the part, I was doing my research and went, which one is it going to be? Is it going to be Troya? Are we going for original Wonder Girl? When I knew it was going to be the red one, our incredible costume and super suits team really spent a lot of time putting as much of the qualities of these illustrations into something that would be modern, but also something that we could move in. It went through it was long sleeved at one point. There was so many different iterations and phases of trying to make it comfortable to move in. We made it as comfortable. I mean, mine was not easy to move in, but it looks cool.
Yeah, they look fantastic. Jason's outfit.
Thank you. Yeah, from season 2 to season 3, obviously, totally different outfits, and I think the thing was transitioning from the Jason Todd was so easy to move in. It was so easy to fight and everything, and with the mask, that's a whole different story. You know what I mean? And I don't get to train stunt training with my mask on. I have to go. Right. On the day of, I go to set and I put this thing on, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to do this fight. But then I can't see here, I can't see there, I can't see there. So I'm just having to adjust to all that and hoping it works out. And I think the hardest part for me was with the redhead outfit is I couldn't see my gun holsters. So every time after I would do a gun scene, I would literally have to all right, hopefully this is the spot. Countless amount of times I just totally missed, and I'm like, great, this looks cool. Wow, sweet. But they're both so fun. Even just the dream of putting on a super suit. I mean, you guys understand. You feel alive. It's amazing. So yeah, it's been incredible.
You feel emboldened. A costumer with this being, cosplay central in the world. You see so many original stuff, and I'm just looking at people going, how the hell is Optimus Prime walking down the hallway?
It's so cool. Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. Hi, back to questions. Hello.
Hi, my favorite episode of the show is when Donna Troy goes into the underworld and helps Tim Drake get out of it. So I was curious, Connor, if you had any insights or stories you can share about shooting that episode.
That was a lot of fun. I knew when we saw Donna deceased, die, season 2, I wasn't sure how the writers were going to bring her back. And when they shared to me this idea, what I liked about it was that it meant, she is encouraged by Hank to come back. She's kind of dragging her feet, but ultimately it's her that makes that choice. And I think what's great is she makes that choice because despite how she feels about this, she can't help but save this kid, which Hank points out. And what I really loved about that is that despite everything, she helped create the team, she left the team, she gets dragged back into the team, she gets killed and has to leave the team because she's dead. So now it's kind of like, what, after all of that, choosing to leave, being forced to leave, what's your ultimate choice? And at the end of the day, she's still a hero and she can't help but save this kid. And so I loved the decision to have her coming back be through the eyes of a hero who has to save someone who needs her. He can't get back without her. And that's what's ultimately driving her. And so I just loved that. And I loved getting to work with Jay, who plays Tim, because it meant I could embody this character that I had walked in the shoes of for so many years. But I was, coming back into this role with a new co-star, a new character that Donna was just meeting. And so I thought it was a really interesting way. And doing the underworld stuff, and it was in black and white, was so fun. I got to work with a sword, as long as I've been dying to work with a sword. So I really loved all of it.
Boris did a phenomenal job shooting that.
Yes, our DP, who usually is, on another end of our production, he directed that episode. And so he really knows the tone of our show well, and shot it for black and white. And he had told me, and he knows I love black and white photography, he had wanted it to be black and white and really fought for it to be black and white. And so I'm really glad the producers let him continue with that vision, because I think it did sell the tone of the underworld.
Yeah, your show is his own art form. Getting back to the costume before, we were comparing with tights and what you're wearing now. A lot of you guys should remember this, but I think the first motion picture that actually showed superheroes not being in tights and capes, anything of that nature, I think was X-Men. If you remember, it's literally leather, jumpsuits, the whole 9 yards. I'm like, whoa, you're not wearing underwear outside there, tights or anything. It's like, hey, this could actually work. I could actually believe in this.
That looks more convenient. And yeah, you could fight in that. I don't know how you fight in
look,
underwear.
they had zippers. Great. How you doing back there?
Good. This is for Ryan. I'm a pinball collector, And
You say pinball?
pinball.
Yes,
Yeah.
amazing. Let's talk pinball.
I was wondering if you are as into pinball as your character is, and whether all of you on the set ever get to play those excellent pinball machines that you have on the set.
You
So-
guys got a playroom? Do you have a playroom on set?
No, but I know.
Kind of. Gar's bedroom in season 2 and a little bit of 3. No, just in season 2, that was kind of a standing set with a bunch of vinyl toys, and the Twilight Zone pinball machine was in there, and also we had it was like a kind of like an off-brand GI Joe pinball machine. I'm forgetting which one it was, like General something, but I actually got into pinball as a result of that first episode, playing the Twilight machine. I had played, Pinball 2000 on like Windows PC before, but never in real life. And I grew up playing like Japanese like pinball, which is more of a vertical opposed to a horizontal playing field. And I fell in love with it, genuinely. Like between takes, Jeff Johns and I would play the Twilight Zone pinball machine, and he was telling me how he has one at home and how he's got a few different like the things that you can trigger, those events within the machine. He's got different ones added on, and they're you can get it from eBay for like $100, and you just mod out your own pinball machines. There is a place in Toronto called Tilt Arcade. Rest in peace. There was a fire not on their end. I would go there now and then, and they had all of the best pinball machines, like Black Knight, the original Jurassic Park, the original Star Wars one. I'm trying to remember the other classic 80s Valley pinball machines, but yeah, no, it became an interest of mine as a result of the show, and I'll cherish that memory of just bonding with Jeff Johns over that Twilight pinball machine for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I went to Tilt quite a bit in Toronto too, and it was so much fun. I think the reason pinball machines and games are fun is it's so reflective of how our brains are working a lot of the times. Like I always joke when I'm like juggling a lot with work, whatever, it's like a pinball machine. It's going all over. Our thoughts are going all over. So I think playing those games is so fun because it's like a way for our brains to like streamline and focus.
Yeah. Any of you guys have actually gamers at home other than pinball? I'm literally talking, Call of Duty, things of that nature.
Ooh. You game a little bit. Yeah, I game. I play Rocket League. I don't know if any of you guys like yeah. That's my game lately. And then I play FIFA too, so. Yeah, a little bit of gamer.
I played a lot of PS2 with my brothers growing up. I was really into the driving games, the snowboarding ones, and the Lord of the Rings series. I played them extensively, and now I'll turn it to our professional gamer for his answer.
We talked about Lord of the Rings: Return of the King on PlayStation 2 several times. That was like one of the best video games to play.
There's no version of it that wasn't played.
Yeah, I'm a hardcore gamer. I have gamed the least this year than I have the last 13. I'm stepping away. I'm realizing that I was gaming a bit too much. But yeah, I play it all, man. I started with Roller Coaster Tycoon and Pinball 2000, and then addictinggames.com, and then it became a PlayStation and a GameCube and a Wii. So yeah, I've played a little bit of everything at this point. Yeah.
Cool beans. Hi.
Hi, so I have a question for all of you guys, and then one for just Curran. Okay, so the one for all of you guys is, do you have any advice for someone who's young trying to get into the acting business? And the one for Curran is, opinion on crowbars.
I hate crowbars. I hate them.
They're so useful.
Very useful. To get into the acting world, a thing that I made sure of when I was very young is that this is something I want to do for the rest of my life. I had to step back and make sure, I really love this career. I really love this job because, for me, it's you grow up so fast in it, and that's something you have to be willing to sacrifice, But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's like, I can't see myself doing anything else in this life. Like, I love my job so much, and that's very important to me, waking up and doing something you love every day, if you have, the opportunity to do that. So, just make sure you love it, it's your passion, and just go for it. Don't be afraid.
I think that, do you want to act? You do?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how old you are, but I knew I wanted to start acting probably when I was like 13. And I would say now, after many years of doing it, I always tell young actors, make sure there's other things you also love, so that you are always stimulating that creative part of you, because ultimately being an actor is another form of being an artist. And a lot of acting is, you know, going in and auditions and other things that are the business aspect of it, and that stuff can be tiring sometimes, and they can reject you, they can say these things, but there's gonna be a spot for you no matter what, and so you just gotta make sure, like Fern said, that you love it, and that if you love it, that there's other things that also excite you, that it's so that that's helping your acting career. And also, it's okay if it changes. You know, what's really cool is I started out as an actor, and I know that I'm probably going to end up wanting to write and direct, and then maybe also do acting. And what's cool is it can be a window into so many other career opportunities in film and television, and just keep at it. It's really about like seeing like who really loves it and keeps trying. So, good luck.
That's great advice. You know, I mean, that's great. Just be multifaceted. I think if you focus on
it'll add to it.
Yeah, it'll add to it. It's great.
One of the benefits of being an actor and actress now is that based off the last few years, there's far less auditions that happen in person, and they happen really remote, over Zoom. You send tape in, and so now more than ever, not that it's easier because there's still a limited amount of roles, but there's more platforms than there ever were. There are more opportunities to share your art, and whether it's professional quality social media distribution, or YouTube or Netflix. And the direction we're heading, the entire industry, I think, is in a place of uncertainty right now. Streaming services are gobbling up other streaming services, and it all looks like we're heading to one big one. But with that being said, the ability to create independent content it's easier than it ever has been. You can shoot something that looks you can shoot something for far less that looks like a professional film that would have been shot 10 years ago, based off of equipment you can have at home, as long as you learn the process. So, create with your friends, create even with yourself. But yeah, I mean, it's the Wild West right now. Yeah, you just follow their advice and know that there are platforms, and most of it's done remotely. So look for as many remote auditions as you can.
Alrighty, looking good back there. We still got a few more. Oh, we're looking good on time, so.
Oh, sorry. Hi, so I was wondering, you guys have obviously done your research and stuff. I was wondering if there are any people for Curran of the Bat family, or for Connor, in the Wonder Girl kind of sidekick area that you guys really wanted to see, or would be excited about seeing with you guys.
If I wanted to see the other characters merge?
Yeah, or if you brought on more we've had the three of the Robins come on. If you wanted to see another Wonder Girl come and
Oh yeah, I think it'd be so cool if Cassie Sandsmark and Donna Troy teamed up. I just want all the Amazons to be taking over the world. I don't want to. I feel like in our show we reference Wonder Woman a lot. It's so cool to see that combination in the flesh. We got to see it with Dick and Bruce. So just want it to be all leveled out and fair.
Yeah, I think the Outlaws would be pretty cool. I think Connor and I talked about this yesterday. Roy Harper, we briefly saw that.
Yes, we got
teased with Roy Harper. I think Roy Harper would be pretty cool to see. Yeah, there's so many good options.
Dude, if you're doing the Outlaws, I need to see Bizarro and Artemis, because anyways,
all of them.
There's a big universe out there, so anything can happen. Hi, back there.
So my question's for Ryan. In the past, you've worked in shows like Super Ninjas from years ago on Nickelodeon. Has your history in martial arts helped you play Beast Boy?
Not necessarily, but the bid that I put in online to play a different DC character was, with my friends in the martial arts community, and I'm very grateful to kind of the stunt world for allowing me to dip my toes into their profession, because what they do is it defies the laws of physics, especially when you see Brenton's double moose put on 20 pounds of this like costuming foam and rubber, and he's able to perform a corkscrew in the air, at 2 in the just hyping him up for no reason.
For a reason. You guys are, I mean, we are playing these characters, but this show is nothing without a stunt team, and ours is pretty great.
Jeff Johns had seen the video that I put online about kind of my martial arts reel, and that, I guess, helped in the audition process. So they knew that I was physically capable to perform these stunts. I kind of wanted it to be more reliant on the transformations and Gar being an animal, but if Gar's going to sit on the sidelines, might as well try and do some half transformations, try and get him incorporated in any form. And if he's got Nightwing and Robin as brothers and as mentors, then yeah, he's going to learn how to fight at some point. So the Sundays are always my favorite.
Okay. Any of the scripts that you've got, were there any episodes that you filmed where you did not know the entire, how can I say, direction of that episode until you maybe found out at, I don't know, day before, day of, like Donna died?
No, I got it. They called, our producers called me before. We usually get the script sent to us in an email blast, and then we have a table read. And so he called and said, it hasn't come out yet, I just want you to know what we're doing, you're not dead. It's a plot twist, season finale, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, how does she die? It was a different way. And so you get a heads up. They would never
But did that affect any way of how you would have done that scene differently had you not known that you were actually going to die in that episode?
No, I think that'd be bad if I didn't know. I think part of what we do is we read it, we go, okay, I've got to get to work, I've got to go research, I've got to know how I'm going to play this scene, who's in the scene with me. If I just showed up and they're like, we're going to go kill you now, then I couldn't do my job.
Dirty trick. Yeah. But at least Jason knew he was going to die.
Yeah,
well,
like Connor said,
they
let you know weeks and if not months in advance, like, hey, this is what's going to happen with the character,
It's following history, and it's like, really?
Exactly.
Do I have to die?
Yeah.
How long is the show again? Yeah. Ryan?
I try and fit in as much nonsense as possible that's not on the page. So I'm usually not surprised. I tend to be the one trying to surprise.
Yeah.
If I can get a chuckle from the guys behind the camera while we're working, that's an indication that people at the monitors watching are hopefully smiling or giggling, or because if I can make the people involved laugh, after they've read the script and they know what we're going into, then I think I've done my job, because then people at home who have no context and no script prior will hopefully laugh and be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool beans. Hello.
Hi.
Hey there. First, I just want to thank the three of you for coming here, especially with it being your first time. Hopefully you're having a great time. Hopefully we'll see you again next. Secondly, Teen Titans was my favorite comic book growing up as a kid. I'm really old, so I go back a ways with the comics. They're still my favorites. And the three of you and the whole cast do an amazing job bringing those characters to life.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
My question is, we all know that the internet really sucks sometimes. So with regular roles that you would take on a normal acting gig, was there any animosity or added pressure with these characters that have been established for so long and you guys bring them to life?
First of all, thank you guys for coming out. This is incredible. We couldn't do any of this without you guys, so thank you so much. Give yourself a round of applause.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Seriously. I think anytime you're taking on a character for the first time, especially let it be a comic character that's been around for so long, there is pressure. But you know, at the end of the day, I showed up to work with my homework, knowing what I wanted to do with this character, and just putting my trust in my abilities to do my thing. And you know, I want to make the fans happy, but then you can't put too much pressure on yourself. You got to do your own thing and make your own character, and you know, it's a perfect balance of just pulling stuff from the comics for me and then doing my own spin on it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're all doing our best. So I think as someone who also watches TV and film and I'm fans of many different projects, when I see actors up there, I just go, yeah, they showed up that day and they took a job, and we're trying to do our best to slip into someone that's not us and memorize lines. And so there is a bit of nerves that come with the pressure of characters that are so beloved, and it's different than, there's already a pressure when I've shown up to a character that has just been created. No one's ever heard of this person. They are totally fictional. And you still go, are people gonna see it and decide they hate it based on someone that they don't even know? And then on top of that, you have like, you know, a character that has decades of fans and loyalty. On top of that, one that has never been live action, there's no reference, which is also good. You know, there's no preconceived idea of a live action Donna Troy, which I was actually really glad about because I wasn't gonna compare myself to someone else. But at the end of the day, yeah, you just gotta throw it out the window and go, well, this is my job, so I'm just gonna put that aside and get to work and hope for the best.
Keyboard warriors are going to be keyboard warriors. I've been a keyboard warrior for shows in the past. You know, spewing nonsense on Reddit. I have expectations of what I wanted, and it needs to be met to my degree because I'm a fan, and I fully empathize. You know, when we love these properties, when we spend years of our lives devoting ourselves to either playing a game franchise or watching a film franchise or a comic book franchise, you have expectations and you want them to be met because it's a part of the nostalgia of it. It's part of the childhood. It's part of the young adult. It's part of the adult experience, and you want, you know, what you like to reflect the level of care that you would put into it, into making that project. And you know, I think there's a lot of really smart criticism online for every property. You know, even the ones that were incredibly successful and well thought out, and the ones that are perfect could have been even better in some people's minds. So you're not going to please people 100% of the time, and the goal is to just, you know, for the people who really understand the properties and know the properties, to not to produce, but to hand them something that reflects the same level of attention and care that they gave that property when they got interested in it to begin with.
Yeah. I think it would be highly irresponsible of me if I didn't mention this. We have an annual guest here. Comes every year, beloved by everyone, who recently passed. And he was highly responsible for the look of the Teen Titans when DC Comics, you know, went into that phase there. And we know him and love him as George Perez. And George, this is probably the first year here at DragonCon that George hasn't been here. Mainly because of it. So it's really a tribute that you guys are here this year, you know, to talk to our incredible fans out here and everything. And you are, in fact, a huge representation of George's creation, his artwork, his look for Teen Titans. So I just want to say thank you so much for at least accepting to show up this year, because it means a lot to us because of losing George. George was around, huge hugger. He loved taking pictures with everybody. Was always very hospitable to people he saw. I think the casting for Titans alone was fantastic. It wasn't cartoonish, comic bookish. Comic books is a visual presence first. We see the look of the superhero, and that sticks in our brain. And I think seeing your look on Titans, which in fact is a little bit more serious than what you were reading in a comic book, of course. It wasn't Batman 1966, you know, things of that nature. You guys are just absolutely incredible in that, and I'm just stalling till the next question pops up. You know, but in the meantime, I wanted to ask a little bit about suggestions to the right. The reason I'm bringing this up, the last panel that I did, we always wondered if you guys took liberty in either dialogue and blocking and anything of that nature in any of the episodes that you guys have been involved in.
Connor has been very vocal and has fought many of battles, and
It's for you guys.
Season after season, she's picked the hills to die on, but I think they were worth it because, you know, our show currently doesn't have, I think, our show doesn't strike a good balance between the female and male representation, and it's a bit of a loss that Connor didn't rejoin us. But I really hope that the show will find that balance again, because you spoke up numerous times and you made really valid points, and I really hope that they take it to heart, because the absence of Wonder Girl is definitely felt this season.
Thank you for saying it, so I did not have to. Yeah, I mean, you guys love these characters so much, and we are the faces of them. We are not carrying it on our own. We do have to show up as the actors, but you fight for the things as much as you can. Some of it makes it. Some of it are lines that people come up to me and say they really loved, and that means a lot. Sometimes it's a matter of seeing what's on the page and going, okay, that can work, this has to change, and like choosing your battle. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, every day you show up, it's just a team effort. You know, if you feel like you need to say something about this line, your character, you say something. And at the end of the day, you put your trust in the writers and the DPs and the directors and everyone on set. And it's just a team effort at the end of the day, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it,
yeah,
you guys know what works and doesn't. The writers are writing the scenes out.
Well, we're literally walking in their shoes. Like, what actors do is we pretend to be someone, but you do it enough years, especially on a television show, where that starts to feel so real. And then what happens is when you're playing a character on a series, suddenly you get the script and it's like an automatic answer of how you know to say that line. When you start to you show up, you still are kind of figuring it out. But the more you play a character, you're walking in their shoes, you're moving, you're saying those things, you're talking to those other characters. So actors, especially on television, we are living and breathing these individuals. And so that is why actors will fight for something to be added. They'll fight for, you know, I started to speak up more the longer I did this. I'd be like, oh yeah, like this is what they would wear, this is what they wouldn't wear, here's what I think her hair should be like. There's so much of it, and so ultimately you've just gotta, I think, say as much as you can, and then hope that something.
Well, obviously you're doing something right.
Thank you.
You know, you're still in the air, and the team lawyer here is defending everyone's position. That's great. All right, let's see how fast we can get through this line that just showed up. Let's make sure it's one question only, please. Okay, one question. Go for it.
Question for everyone. Is there a specific Beast Boy transformation you'd like to see in the show?
I mean, I want to see all of them.
Now an obvious.
You know what I mean? More animals, the better. I'm sure Ryan has a favorite. What would you like to see?
A dinosaur?
You said dinosaur?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Yeah, because that breaks the grounded quality of our show, and it would just be a nice little nod to the animated show.
You're just like a puppy.
Puppy.
Crypto would agree.
Yeah, I would like to do a scene with Crypto. That'd be really
So
fun.
like barking at each other.
But what I'll say is there is one of my favorite episodes in Teen Titans. I can't give the title away because then I give away the plot point. Is in season 4, and I wanted to showcase that Gar's powers extend really past the animals that he currently can transform into, and yeah, it's I'm excited is all I'm gonna say.
I'm excited too.
Yeah, I mean, if you need an example of, you know, turning into something outside that realm, such as T-Rexes, we have a hell of a lot of examples around this con.
Yes.
You want to know what a T-Rex actually looks like? You got to have the carpet pattern and everything on your body. So.
Carpet pattern T-Rex.
That would be awesome.
I was recently just informed about the cult of carpet. I love it. Yeah.
It's a story in itself.
No, it's great. I love that you guys have made masks, got bags, and just whole outfits out of the convention itself. It just it's a test to the love of Dragon Con. So.
Well, I'm happy you know what that means. That means a lot to us here personally. Thousands of people there.
There you go.
Yeah, we know the pattern. All right, go ahead, next.
Many years from now, which prop from seasons 1, 2, 3, or 4 would each of you like to take home with you?
You mean steal?
Did you say like take over, like continue?
No, take home.
Take home prop. Oh man, the sword. I wanted the sword. Apparently, I asked for too much, and that's all I wanted. But apparently, there was only 2. We had like a.
Well, if you're looking for the sword, here at Dragon Con.
This had like a specific hilt and everything.
I'm sure it's here.
I really wanted that, and apparently that was too much. So.
I'm sure it's here. How about you, Dylan?
I would like to take home my redhead helmet. I think that
I've
would
seen
be-
some
There's
helmets
some-
at these cons that don't look pretty.
They're so like the one, you know, from my.
Oh yeah,
work.
it's all about like
Love
the one
that.
you work
Also, my Jason Todd outfit. I absolutely love that one. I would like to take that home, but don't tell anyone. But I have a Gotham license plate. I love that thing, so it's very special to me. We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, he was like, oh, that's for the license
It's so
plate.
cool, guys.
And I was like,
I'm
aim
gonna put it
high,
on my
girls.
car.
Aim high.
Imagine.
Go for the sword or nothing else.
Ryan, who would you want to take home?
His hand says.
No, that's sorry. Is it? Is it? Oh, you're there. No. There's nothing. This isn't a dig at Beast Boy. There's nothing of Beast Boys that I want. I already took something from his bedroom set, and
Can you repeat that a little louder, please, in the camera?
I took something from Beast Boy's bedroom set. So yeah, Anime Extreme Toronto, the store. If you're looking for that Luffy statue, you can come see me about it. But it's mine now. Sorry.
Excellent. What we got here? In the back? We have one person? Yeah.
If your character had like a theme song, what would it be?
Oh my god, great question.
No, most of them do.
No, it's I'm every
serious?
woman.
I'm a woman.
What about you, Glenn?
I got one for you,
Can I
Ryan.
ask?
I got one for you.
What would you guys think my theme song would be? Let's hear some good suggestions. Right there. Ooh, I like that. Any more?
Yeah, can you repeat it for the audience though? I didn't hear it myself.
The
What
man
is
who
it?
sold the world.
The Man Who Sold the World by Nirvana.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Nirvana would be great. I don't know, there's so many good theme songs, I feel like. Especially for Redhead.
I feel like it's AC/DC.
I was gonna say something like hard rock and roll, yeah.
AC/DC, yeah.
Maybe like Hungry Like the Wolf.
That's a good one.
Eye of the Tiger.
You know what's unfair though? 1966 Batgirl had her own theme song. She really had a riff. You guys remember that? Talking to the old people out there in the audience.
What was it like?
Batgirl, 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 Batgirl. Dun, 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 Batgirl, Batgirl.
You rehearsed.
Hey, thank you.
We know your karaoke song.
I love that.
Yeah, see, it is. She has her Yvonne Craig. All right, we are wrapping up right away. Yeah, come on, phone. We can squeeze in one. Do we? If we have one? Okay, no, we're not going to squeeze in one.
Well, thanks for squeezing into this convention hall and coming.
Yeah,
to see
thank
us.
you guys.
Thank you guys. Really,
Thank you
really,
so
you
much.
guys are fantastic. You guys are even better. Appreciate appreciate it. So let's give a nice warm goodbye because we won't see you guys until next year. Connor Leslie, Kieran Walter, and Ryan Potter has joined us here as Dragon Con, and we appreciate it. You guys are fabulous. Fantastic.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of your time.
That was Teen Titans Scorpion Core Universe.